School is now in session. Hi, thank you. Marvin, sit down. Sit down. No, I don't care that your legs hurt. I'm 5'10" and my legs hurt. Sit down. Thank you. Sit down. Okay. Yeah, we all have a butt, Marvin. Place it in your seat. Thank you. All right, so welcome. Welcome to the developer update. Excuse me. Thank you for the lurk, Al. Yeah, no worries. Do what you gotta do. So this is going to be, they're covering the balance changes from the public test that was last week, which we're gonna get next week. So like in a week from today. This part, I glanced over all this. Shh, Marvin, shh, shh. God, Marvin, you're always such a troublemaker. Yes, Rapanda, let me see your tardy slip. It says you didn't feel like running. That's another tick. That's 5% off your grade. You know this. We've talked about this. All right. Yeah, sit down, sit down. Al? Al, go pack. Go back in the corner. Sit in the corner, turn your head around, put your head down in your book, read your book. Read your book on how to pack. All right, thank you. And how to sleep, because you never do. Thank you. So, this is them talking about the blood web costs. I don't know how I feel about this, honestly. They increased the, like the games, you could, instead of getting 32k points, you get 40k points. And then they took out the extra blood point rewards in barbecue and chili and live forever, farm forever, whatever you want to call it. They took both those out, and then they made it where you can get like 40k a game. And they also, I don't know, that's pretty much all they did, right? I thought that was fine. I thought that was fair. They also made it where like when you prestige just 20k, there's also that 50th page now, where it used to be like when you went from 49 to 50, you would just like prestige. You wouldn't do like a 50 blood web. Now you're doing the 50 blood web and prestiging. It didn't seem that egregious to me. It's like 1.5 mil. I don't think it's that bad. It kind of feels like how it was. So about this, I don't know. Weird vibes for me. But basically what they did is, last month we overhauled, made it easier to earn perks. Under this new system, perks are unlocked through prestiging, immediately available to use on other characters without needing to be found in the blood web. So they made it easier to get perks too and all that. Like, we know this. Egregious? I was gonna look it up on stream, but that seems like a really bad idea. Define egregious. Here you go.
Egregious.
Outstandingly bad or shocking, or in an archaic term, remarkably good. So I like to use it for both, whether it's very shocking or very good. Like, that is so egregious. There you go. So they said, as some of you have rightfully pointed out, without these bonuses, you could afford fewer blood web nodes per match, making it harder to earn items, add-ons, and offerings than before. I don't agree with this. I feel like no. Like, there's no more perks in the blood webs. It's just prestiging. So you're getting more things out of it because you're not going after the perks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't agree with this. But lo and behold, they want to remedy that. With the release of Resident Evil Project W, which is next Tuesday, they are reducing the cost of nodes in the blood web by 33%, roughly. So currently, I can show you my blood web, for example. Browns or commons are 3,000, yellows are 4,000, greens are 5,000, purples are 6,000. Are pinks 7,000? Oh my god, it's gonna do that again. Well, I can't show you because my game keeps breaking, so I'll just have to wait for it, I guess. Like, hello? Okay, well, oh, it also literally says right here, but I was showing you an example, so bear with me. So the prices that are currently are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And with events being as cheap as the common ones, which I think is cool. Oh, now it's yelling at me. An error occurred. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. I've been having this issue for weeks. For weeks. Where it like bugs me, it takes me out of queue, it takes me out of like a group with my friends, like I don't know, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Well, there we go. It literally didn't finish my blood web. Thank you. Oh my god, dude. Choking on my food. Choking on my food. 1 second. Choking on my food. I don't know. I like how it is now with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's very just like cut and dry. It's even. It like scratches my even OCD brain of just like everything costing 1,000 more. I like that. We love an SR commercial break. Exactly. Exactly. I think it's fine this way. Again, like I said, like they took the perks out, so you don't have to fight getting the perks. You can choose whatever you want to get. The more you prestige, the like better things that you'll get in the blood web as well, which is what I wonder if that's what they're talking about remedying, is like the higher up you get, like the more good things you're gonna get. I'm not really sure. I don't know who brought this to their attention and said, hi, we're not getting enough blood points, even though you increase the blood point cap in every single game that I play. We're still not getting enough. Like that, I just don't. Is this people like wanting to prestige faster? Like I don't know who brought this up, so I don't know. Hi Pots, I'm doing good. So the prices were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are changing them to 2, 2.5, 3.25, 4, and 5. Which, like, I don't know. And yeah, call me crazy for complaining about like leveling faster, but I kind of like the grind. I'm enjoying the grind. I'm enjoying like having something to put my points into again. So the idea of like making things easier, I don't know. Yeah, the 3,250, like it's one thing to be like 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, but it's like 2,000, 2,500, 3,250, 4,000, 5,000. I don't like it. I don't like it. You may be wondering, why not increase the blood points earned instead? This is a good question, and one we took into consideration. First, a 33% reduction in blood web costs is effectively the same as increasing blood point earnings by 50% across the board. For example, 30,000 blood points can be exchanged for 15 common nodes when priced at 2,000 blood points each. At 3,000, you would need 45,000 blood points to get to the same number of nodes. So they're basically saying that they're increasing blood point. They're increasing the value of blood points by 50% is what they're doing. Like, you used to have to get 45,000 blood points to get those things, where now you only need to get 30,000%. Or 30,000 blood points. They're increasing blood point earnings. Well, I guess that's not value, because value would be like, 30,000 would be 60,000. I wouldn't say value. I would say... I don't know what I would say. They're making things cheaper. That's, I guess, where I would go with. So, nodes makes me think it's pitch perfect. Second, the reduction makes all blood points more valuable. Okay, well, I guess I would say value. Just kidding. I said value. And I meant it. Not just those for matches. This means that even your daily rituals and archive challenges have more purchasing power than before. Ultimately, we found that reducing blood up costs was the fairest option and provides the best value. So, your blood points are more valuable. I wouldn't say the doubled value, though, because that would... the way that they worded this, I wish they didn't word it this way. I wish they said, like... I wish they would have said, like... which they first explained what the change is, and then... Like, if you're going to change something, you should talk about this part first, and then this part. But they were like, well, for 30,000 blood points, you can get 15 for 2,000 each. At 3,000, you would need 45,000 blood points to get the same... I don't like the way they word this. I feel like they should have made it easier to understand. I just wish they would have. I wish they would have. But yes, they're increasing... The value of your blood points is like... If they increased blood point... Yeah, they did 50%. Because 30 to... I want you to, like, forget everything I said for, like, the past 2 minutes, okay? I hate this paragraph, and it confuses me, and I don't like that. They're increasing the value of blood points by 50%. And I stick by that. Because they are. Because if they were increasing it by 100%, that number would be 60. And if they're increasing it by 50%, the number would be 45. They're increasing the value of blood points by 50%. That's my end statement. I'm a math major. Moving on. Great, cool. I hate it here. Camping and tunneling. I hate whoever words this. I wish I could word it, because I would make it make so much more sense. I really would. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it alone because it's bothering me, but moving on. Camping and tunneling. Scribbles furiously in her notebook. Scratches out the past, like, 5 minutes of my conversation. In the past mid-chapter, they added the 5-second endurance haste, which is you could take an extra hit for 5 seconds, and you get 7% haste for 5 seconds to all unhooked survivors, which we called your beautiful bib, or your built-in borrowed. These status effects are designed to give the unhooked survivor a fighting chance by allowing them to get to a nearby pallet or window if the killer decides to chase them again. We released this feature with safe numbers to ensure things didn't get out of hand. Now that we've had some time to see how they play out, we feel comfortable increasing them further. In 6.2, we'll be increasing the duration of haste and endurance to 10 seconds, and additionally, we'll be increasing the haste to 10%. So, lo and behold, a built-in borrowed will now be 10 seconds long, and the haste will be 10%, not 7%. So now if you bring borrowed time, you're increasing, it increases by 10 seconds, right? So instead of having the bib for 5 seconds and the borrowed time giving you 15 seconds total, because the 10 and the 5, you're now going to have like 20 seconds if someone brings borrowed time, which is pretty cool. But increased the duration to 10 seconds, which I think is great, because the immediate thought I had about this was like basements. When you're in the basement and somebody unhooks you and they like back up the stairs counting out the 5 seconds and then hit you at the top of the steps, how did that help me? You know what I'm saying? So 20 seconds, yeah, if you have borrowed time, it'll be 20 seconds. And not only is it an extra 5 seconds, you're going to be 3% faster for 10 seconds than what was originally there. They had the 7% haste for 5 seconds. You're now going to have 10% for 10 seconds. So you're going to freaking peace out, dude. You're going to peace out. You're going to get the heck out of there, and they're not going to chase you. Hopefully not. Or if they do, you can now make it all the way up the stairs and hope that they don't body block you, because people will try that too. And we all know they've been counting out those 5 seconds. Well, now they have to count out the 10 seconds. And if they really want to count out those 10 seconds and chase you with that 10% haste, waste your time, I guess. Waste your time. So I think this is perfect. I think this is great. There are still a few of those instances that they get around the built-in borrowed, so I think this is good. I think 10 seconds is perfect. I don't think it'll need to get increased or decreased. I think this is perfect. We'll have to wait and see. We hope you'll find these improvements to be much more effective in discouraging the killer from chasing the same survivor immediately after they're unhooked. Medal of Man. Medal of Man. We didn't get to the Wesker stuff yet. I'll get there. We're working our way down. So, they, for some reason, they nerfed metal, which nobody was using, and we were all having a laugh about it, because we were like, why nerf metal if nobody already runs it? I don't know. I've been tunnel all day. It happens. It's part of the game. Released a new version of Medal of Man, which worked consistently with other endurance effects. Many of you voiced concerns with this version of the perk being weaker than before, favoring a hard-to-earn effect that couldn't be lost. Our intention with this change was never to make the perk weaker. Therefore, alongside the chapter release, we'll be reverting the recent update to Medal of Man. Medal of Man will instead grant a unique protection effect that is not cancelled by conspicuous actions like endurance. To help differentiate them, this perk will no longer cause the endurance status effect to appear in the HUD when activated. So I guess you're going to have like a unique protection effect that is not canceled by conspicuous actions. I hope this doesn't create a bug with other endurance hits and with other tapping things with conspicuous actions while having dead hard. I mean, just there's just a couple things. Hopefully this doesn't cause issues, but they're basically saying we're going to revert back to what Medal of Man was, which great, because I don't even know. I just remember the change was like, it was a nerf. It was literally a nerf. Nobody ran the perk. We were like, why are you nerfing a perk that nobody uses? Like, what? So they're reverting it. So cool. If you don't even know what they did, perfect. You know what it does now. So post PTB changes. The halls of Raccoon City Police Station were packed in this PTB. Whether you were hurling survivors at literal breakneck speeds or being hurled, we want to thank you for taking the time to leave your feedback. We'll be making a few changes in time for release. As always, these changes are by no means final. We'll continue to monitor how everything performs and reassess once the dust is settled. So there's still a week until this update comes out. Some of these things may change, but from this point forward, for now, what they are planning on is these changes. We'll start with Albert Wesker. One thing we noticed during the PTB was that the collision detection on the rush was a little too sensitive, causing the killer to bump into objects they shouldn't have. Kind of reminds me of like Blight, for example. When Blight came out, he bumped into like air and they kind of had to like fix his like bumping mechanics. For the release, we've toned this down. You don't accidentally bump into obstacles as often. We've also polished the way Virulent Bond interacts with pallets and windows. I don't know what Virulent Bond is. During the PTB, survivors would not take damage if the mastermind bounded towards them as they were vaulting. This was not intentional. The mastermind will now hit them with his tentacle if they're caught in the middle of a vault. Okay, so it used to be, I think, where, like, if he was running the thing where he could, like, vault, if you blocked the pallet, like, he couldn't vault it. And he'd have to, like, wait for you to vault, so I guess he couldn't, like, hit you during it, so they're gonna make it where, like, he could hit you during your vault now. Additionally, survivors could wait on the other side of a pallet, vaulting back and forth, before the mastermind could attack after vaulting. Going forward, standing too close to the vault location, as the mastermind bounds over it, will result in the survivor being injured. So I guess there was, like, a way around, like, vaulting behind him and things like that, and him not being able to hit in between the ability. They changed it to where he will be able to, like, hit now, because people were kind of, like, taking advantage of that. Next, we revisited his power and loops. We found his base movement speed between bounds to be a little slow, making it difficult to get into position for another bound. For the release, we've increased the mastermind's movement speed between bounds to 2.76 from 2.3. The speed previously achieved by using the loose crank add-on. Since this add-on has been added to the base kit, we've reduced its movement speed bonus to 8 from 20 to compensate for a new total of 2.98. Movement speed between bounds. Okay, so if he's switching between things, he was, like, slowed down, and they made him, like, less slow because it was taking too long to switch and then still, like, be in chase. Okay. One of the quirks of Virulent Bond is its ability to throw survivors at each other, injuring both survivors in the process. Oftentimes, those unfortunate enough to have their friends flung at them would not realize they've been injured. I did notice this when I was watching, because obviously I didn't play this, but, like, I was watching people, and you could, like, fling a survivor into another survivor and injure them, but, like, there was, like, no notification that that person got injured. It was just, like, all of a sudden you're injured. It didn't, like, flash on the screen or anything. It just, like, made you injured. To make this more obvious, being injured from a survivor thrown by the mastermind will now cause deep wounds. So I don't know if people were also using it as, like, a body block tactic, or I don't know what people were doing, but now, being injured from healthy by another survivor will put you in the deep wound state. Not even, like, the injured state. You'll go from healthy to deep wounds, kind of like Deathslinger and Legion. So that's interesting. Last but not least, we've slightly toned down the survivor's collision detection of the mastermind's bound. Found this to be a little too generous on the PTB, allowing the killer to grab survivors that were not in front of him. This change will require a little more precision on the killer's part and make Virulent Bond feel fairer to survivors. So he was having issues with collision, and also collision was also kind of favoring him in certain instances as well. So it seems like they just kind of tidied some of those things up. We'll see. We'll see. This is very interesting. I know everybody's been talking about reassurance. It allows you to pause the hook progression of another survivor, buying you and your team more time to work on generators if the killer's camping. On the PTB, reassurance apparently it had a 40-second cooldown. I thought it was like you could use it once per hook. I didn't know that, like, if you and everybody had it, you guys could keep switching it through. When coordinated with other survivors, this could have been abused to keep the hooked survivor permanently on the hook, preventing them from being sacrificed against their will. I did not know this. I thought, like, everybody could use it once per hook state, which is what they did. They've removed the cooldown. Instead, it can be used once per hook instance. The effect of this perk can still be chained together if multiple people have it, so you can still delay the hook by 90 seconds. It'll keep it, you know, strong without being abusable. I thought that's what it already did. I didn't realize you could actually, like, coordinate it to where you can all keep pushing it out. I thought it was already doing this thing, so they made it what it should have done anyway. So, good job. Awakened, I actually didn't read these, so we'll read these together. I kind of got to this part, and I was like, I'll read this with you guys, so we'll learn together. Awakened Awareness, this perk grants the killer aura. Hi, Queso, how you doing? Grants the killer aura reading while they're carrying a survivor. On the PTB, this effect also lingers for 2 seconds after the carried survivor is dropped, hooked, or wiggled. This effect could be a little oppressive on certain killers, especially when paired with lethal, to extend the aura reading and Starstruck to me. Yep, yeah, that was my concern with this perk, was Starstruck. For the release, we've removed the lingering aura reading from Awakened Awareness. As a result, lethal will no longer extend the duration of Awakened Awareness. Okay, so you can't increase those 2 seconds because now it's not going to be like an aura after the fact. But yeah, this was going to be pretty scary with Starstruck, so that's a good change. I'm doing good. We're reading the developer update for stuff we're supposed to see next Tuesday. Things that they changed from the PTB, and that may be changed when it comes live as well, but this is their plan so far. So, is this an update to the whole game? Yes, this is, so the PTB that we had last Tuesday, we're going to see that, it was last Tuesday, right? No, it was 2 Tuesdays ago, right? No. Yes? Was it 2 weeks ago? PTB was 2 weeks ago, right? PTB was 2 weeks ago. We're going to see this next Tuesday when Wesker, Rebecca, and Ada come out. This is them changing things from the PTB and saying that what is going to be live next Tuesday. However, they could still change these things leading up to. But so far, this is what they're planning to come out live on Tuesday. But they still could change things. But this is where they're at so far, basically. Low profile hides your scratch marks, pools of blood, and you become the last survivor for 90 seconds. Unfortunately, this meant the perk would only activate once per match, and only if you happen to be the last survivor. Yeah, it was kind of like a sole survivor instance, where it like wasn't really powerful unless you were in that specific scenario. For the release, we've changed this to include any time you're the only survivor who is not dying, hooked, or dead as well, allowing it to activate throughout the match. Additionally, low profile will also mask your grunt of pain in addition to its existing effects. Hides your scratch marks, hides your blood, and hides your grunts of pain, making you literally invisible. The only time this is going to work, and I've explained this with Pinhead, which somebody taught me as well, is like, with Pinhead, the chains don't activate if you are the only, like, only survivor that's, like, up and moving. If all your teammates are on the floor, on a hook, like, just basically, like, in a way, like, incapacitated in a way, like, they can't do anything without the help of somebody else, if they don't have, like, Unbreakable or things like that. If you have, like, 2 teammates on a hook and a person in the dying state and the chains are going, the chains will not attack you if you are unhealthy or if you are healthy. As long as you aren't, like, unable to do anything, the chains won't attack you. So think of that with low profile. Like, the only time this will activate is if, like, everybody's on the ground dead or, like, they're all on the ground on the hooks and, like, you're the only survivor up and running. That's when this will now activate, which I think is a good thing, because it did seem like, oh yeah, this would be great if you were like running Soul Survivor, Obsession, and like something like if you were running like a bunch of like, you know, Obsession perks. It seemed like it was like one of those perks where it's like sometimes it's okay, like, and it would only really like work for the end game if you're alone and like if you happen to not get caught out and somebody else wasn't caught out, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, it was very like a niche perk. So having that one little instance now of like if everything's going bad and like everything resides on you, to have low profile, hide your scratch marks, pools of blood, and grunts of pain, and literally making you like invisible to like turn the game around. I think that's great. It's a very like, if everything goes this way, then it'll work out. So I think it's a good change. It doesn't sound too powerful. It sounds like a game changer for like those like 5-gen slug moments. You know what I mean? That's what it seems a game changer for. So I think that'll be good. I think that'll be good for sure. Time flies. I know, I was like, has it been 2 weeks? Better than new, this perk granted any survivor you healed a 6% action speed bonus to repairing, healing, chest opening, totem cleansing for 35 seconds. We found the duration of this perk to be a little low. To make much use out of the bonus speed for release, we've made a few changes. Better than new now grants a 16% action speed bonus to healing, chest opening, and totem cleansing and blessing. Better than new no longer has a duration. Survivors instead keep this bonus until the next time they take damage. That sounds a little too powerful. I'm shook there's only a week left in August. I know, I feel like it was August 1st and we were like excited for Spooky Month, and now it's like almost September. Like, what the heck? I don't know about this. So this is, if I'm running this perk and I heal Marvin, for example, and it would give Marvin 35 seconds of a 6% action speed to repairing gens, to healing other people, to opening chests, to cleansing totems or blessing totems for 35 seconds. Okay. When they said it seemed a little low, I thought like maybe they were going to make it like 2 minutes or something. This is, so now if I heal Marvin will have a 16% action speed to, oh, they took the gen part out. To healing, chest opening, and totem cleansing and blessing. Okay, so they took the repairing part out, and they left the healing. They took repairing out. So Marvin will now have an infinite 16% speed bonus to healing, opening chests, totem cleansing, and blessing until he takes a hit. Okay, because I was like, that's going to be broken for gens, but they took the gen part out. They made it more of like a team thing. So if I heal Marvin and he... Right, exactly. Think of it kind of like a solidarity in a way, where solidarity is like if you heal somebody else, you gain like half of the heal back. It'll be like, you'll want to heal somebody first, because then you give them a 16% action bonus to healing you, opening chests, and dealing with totems. So also, if there's like a lit totem somewhere, they could run over and get that totem even faster. And they keep this buff until they take a hit. So you also probably, like, if the killer were to come by, you might want to, like, then take the killer because you want them to keep that buff on as long as possible. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's fair. Finally, we come to see RCPD. In this chapter, the map has been split into two, the east and the west wing. Each map includes the main hall and a small section of the opposite wing, greatly reducing its size compared to the original. We've also opened new pathways between various rooms to make the map easier to navigate, as well as winding hallways to make them feel less claustrophobic, allowing more interesting gameplay. In the PTB, we found that there were too many pallets scattered around RCPD now that its size has been reduced. We've reduced the number of pallets on the newly renovated map for when the chapter releases. I wonder if they're talking about the double pallet at the stairs. The main hall had pallets at the top of both stairs, and it was like this giant god loop. I wonder if that's what they were talking about. My favorite loop is still on both sides, and I am happy about that. With that, we've reached the end of this edition of the developer update. Everything we covered today will appear in alongside the release of Dead by Daylight Resident Evil Project W chapter in the coming weeks, which they mean next Tuesday. As always, we look forward to hearing what you think once you've had a chance to try the changes. Until next time. All right, I will see you guys next class. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.